Hey guys, how's it going? Despite having lots of caffeine and, well, recording muted, oops, um, yeah, I'm kind of getting a late start to day 3. But so far, from day 2 and day 1, we've had some pretty good luck, and I've got decent gear right now and a decent setup. So, how was day 1 and 2? So first of all, um, Legion feels good. Yeah, it feels good. I was really kind of concerned with breaking the monsters out, how that would feel, but so far so good. The melee rework feels really good, and yeah, overall good. um, but let's go ahead and talk more about just the Legion mechanic itself. So, with that clearing, there are certain skills like Essence Ray and Contagion, as seen here.
Oh, no.
Oh, there we go. Did you just see that chain that he got on the Essence? And then there are skills apparently like Lightning Trap, supposed to be really good. I would imagine projectile skills, ball, fireball, stuff like that for certain areas. Depending on what area you're doing, a lot of Nova type skills probably would be good. Anything that can clear large areas really quick. Uh, as far as sometimes you get an indoor layout that feels pretty good. The only downside is when there's like a room just close enough that mobs pop over in that room and you would have to go all the way around just to get to it. It kind of gets a little shaky there. But overall, you find the good loot, kill that rare mob or that chest, and you get into the loot. Thing is, with the rare mobs though, where they added more life, well, you run into situations like this. Here,
I don't think that was worth it.
more armor over here.
Get it?
Nope.
We should skip the ones that are on a rare.
Yeah, I think you're right. Takes so much
Find
longer.
the chest and like the non-rare.
And so you don't really get much loot. But, you know, it happens. But overall, if you're looking for the chest icon, the currency icon, the monolith, that is the what Legion is, and that drops the incubators and the Legion content. And then you look for this icon. It's the unique item one. You'll get some decent uniques and decent gear and loot all the way through. I didn't have pictures for the other symbols that they have, but pretty much you'll notice what looks like a div card. Prophecies, there's Breach. A friend of mine got a Chayula Breach Stone out of one. That was pretty nice. I got a Toll Breach Stone. That was pretty good. Pretty much anything League specific, you'll recognize the symbol and what it looks like, and it'll pretty much drop that. So find whatever monsters that kind of have the symbols that you want. Go for it. Overall, I know a lot of people's gotten tabulas, gold rims, a lot of stuff really early that is really helpful for leveling. So I will say this is probably one of the better leagues for just getting loot, leveling, and just starting from scratch. Overall, remember though, if you're not finding weapons to do the physical weapon craft, get the rare rustic sash recipe. That way you get the highest percentage of physical damage on a weapon. Craft that, and you'll be pretty good going throughout. Either way you're playing, if you're playing two-handed, dual wield, whatever, everything seems to feel pretty good. I tried a lot of skills. I tried dual wield at the beginning, and then switched to two-handed somewhere in the middle. And overall, like I said, it felt pretty good. Cyclone felt good. Just any skill that I tried has felt really good. Right now, which I'm going to show here in a minute, Flicker Strike actually feels pretty good on its own. Probably not enough Frenzy Charge on hit chance to just use any weapon, but you could probably get away with using Blood Rage and just Flicker Strike on its own to generate Frenzy Charges just to clear a map. You probably want a Frenzy to generate stuff if just things go wrong, but right now Flicker Strike might feel pretty good on its own with just Blood Rage or very little investment in generating Frenzy charges. With the melee changes, this is just really the plug and play kind of league. If one melee skill kind of scales similar to another one, you pretty much have the same supports and you're good to go. You can just pick whatever melee attack feels good to you, scale it up roughly the same way. Even with a couple of extra supports, you can just level those in your offhands and you're good to go. Just switch out, plug whatever in. It just feels really good just to play any melee skill with just whatever build. You pick your playstyle and just go. That is one of the best parts. And the tree also supports that. You have axes, mace nodes, everything that has almost an equal equivalent now, no matter what you're playing. So it feels really good. So let's go ahead and get into the build here. As far as ascendancies goes, I'm going with Slayer. I know a few of my friends have done Berserker. Both of them seem to feel really good. All the changes overall seem really good as far as damage, especially these 4 nodes right now. I feel like just about any Slayer build is going to take these 4. From there, I'm doing a crit base build, so Overwhelm. Yes, I do have a Terminus S right now, but it does have a lower crit than 8%, so I can take full effect of Overwhelm. Even then, that minus 30% to crit multi for nearby enemies is pretty awesome. And as far as just being a crit build, having that crit multi per nearby enemy, now we don't know how close the nearby is in that case, but either way, at the very least, you've got plus 10% to crit multi, so not bad. From there, if I'm doing the Flicker Strike, I'm probably going to take Endless Hunger. If I'm doing Cyclone or something AoE, I'll probably take Impact. I don't know if you noticed, but I am using Soul Tether to get the Slayer Leech, as I don't really feel like this node adds too much for damage, and really the only reason why I would take Brutal Fervor is really for the 6% reduced damage taken. Other than that, a lot of the leech you can get from the tree to speed up how fast you get leech. I plan on respecking. I was over here. I'm going to respec and probably take this leech and maybe this leech. We'll see what happens. But real quick, just going over it. Cyclone, I'm doing two-handed. We're now going to Abyssus. I don't really feel like I really need this, so if I start dying, and yes, it is a 49%, but I'll get to the defense stats as far as skills and stuff here in a minute. Overall, though, doesn't feel too bad with Abyssus, but again, if I need to drop it, I will. As far as the Ascendancy goes, again, tons of damage just coming out of this. Unless you're really wanting the reduced damage, probably not Brutal Fervor, but Endless Hunger still probably will feel good. And especially if you don't have a source of stun immunity, and bleed immunity is always welcome. And impact is just huge for the AoE. Accuracy feels pretty good right now. I'm at 87% chance to hit evasion monsters, so that's pretty good. Then what else? Let's see. We'll go ahead and just kind of go over. I went down, grabbed this, came down, got Golem's Blood, and that was about it there. I was going to go to Resolute Technique, but I found just with Precision, I was able to have 100% hit chance, so I didn't really need Resolute Technique while leveling. I highly doubt that we'll actually need Resolute Technique while leveling, even in races right now, so that'll be kind of interesting to see. Other than that, went up to Heart of the Warrior and got a couple of these nodes, I think. And then I just try to get as much damage from there. So at first, like I said, I started dual wield, so I had these nodes rather than these. And I think I took Gladiator's Perseverance for the dual wield leech. Other than that, I believe I came down this way and took Blood Magic pretty early. I'd have to watch the day 1 stream. And since I decided to do swords, I started speccing into these nodes for damage. And other than that, I grabbed this for health and this for resistances when I needed it. Started grabbing health here, and then kind of beeline, since I already had swords in mind, over here to Fatal Blade. Not probably the best way to go. I think now, with these crit nodes, and, well, of course, the swords here, you don't really need to go over there, and I'd probably say go up to the Scion Wheel a whole lot sooner and get more health. That was probably the only change I would make for leveling. And overall it was a good experience. Now let's talk about the guard skills. So I do have all 3 of them still here. Still skin, giving me 1,900 buff absorption amount. 1,000 right now for the molten shell. Again, lower level, so that could improve a bit. I don't think that goes up with level. And where is it? And Immortal Call for that flat percentage less damage taking from both elemental and physical. And then if you have endurance charges, you get the buff duration and you get extra less physical. If you have 5 endurance charges, you actually get 100% phys reduction. So still can do that with Immortal Call, but you need 5 endurance charges. If you have an easy way to generate endurance charges and you don't need them for anything specific, Immortal Call should feel pretty good. If you're playing a Juggernaut that's going to generate endurance charges really easy, then you probably could use it and you'll probably snap back to max endurance charges relatively easy, and you can just kind of spam it as you need. Now, with the cooldown for it not starting till it runs out, Mortal Call is going to be definitely needed to use when you need it, and then don't mess up with that, especially if you're doing endurance charges, because then it'll last longer. But other than that, all 3 seem like very good options. Really, the only situational one, Immortal Call probably could be used in just about any build. And then, depending on if you have armor or not, you would use Molten Shell with armor. And then if you don't have armor, still skin gives a good amount of reduction, just in general. So they're all pretty good. I would probably use an increased duration with just about all of them. A Molten Shell kind of has 3 seconds to start out with, so it's pretty solid right out the gate. But the other ones will need some increased duration to probably feel a little bit better. Other than that, I feel like I've got a lot of skills to use, and I like that. I'm going to be using Blood Rage and probably just about everything. I love Berserk. If you don't have Rage on your skill, it can be really good for leveling and just really good in general. Rage is a pretty huge buff when you get it fully stacked, and using Berserk will pretty much finish off any boss or solidify an entire boss fight. Lastly, with Blood Magic, you get 1 aura. The banner doesn't seem to really be that much of a decrease. Yeah, it is about 500 health right now, but I mean, for what the banner adds itself, and when you place it down, you'll go ahead and regen and leech back the health that you were missing out on. I find that having the banner is still worth it. As far as what aura to use, I've got a couple of options. I'm going to either do Warlord's Mark, Pride for damage, or Determination since I am using an Abyssus. With Determination though, I'll be able to make even better use out of Molten Shell. To kind of give an example here, let's go ahead and turn that on. And right there I went ahead and gained another 490 absorption from Molten Shell. So, Determination, pretty good, unless you're just a Jug and you have a ton of armor outright. So, but yeah, having a lot of armor, you can get up to 10,000 absorption from Molten Shell. Having that up for a huge duration, that's going to be pretty huge. I haven't really looked to see how much armor you would need for that. Well, it's 20%, so let's see, 20%, you had 100,000 armor, no, 50,000 armor? So you need 50,000 armor to get that maxed out. That's not too bad, actually. You can get pretty close to that, especially if you have a high armor chest piece. Okay, so that covers the defense and whatnot. Let's go ahead and show a couple examples of maps. I've got Cyclone here, I can just throw it in. I've got enough damage on the Terminus S that even using Melee Splash and Multi-Strike in there should feel pretty good. So this will be a 4-link Cyclone, 6-link Flicker Strike, no big deal. Let's go ahead and get into a map. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and start out with Flicker Strike, kind of show this off. Able to easily sustain my Frenzy charges for the most part. I haven't really ended up with a situation to where I've run out, even with the 4, because I had the always minimal 1 there for a little while. It didn't feel too bad where I had 5 Frenzy charges, so this isn't that bad. Pretty easy to clear. after playing on the console for a bit, I really want that button to pick up loot fast. That would make playing Flicker Strike so much easier, because every time you stop, there's loot on the ground, you gotta reorient yourself. Come on, find something. Yeah, lost my rampage. Oh well. Overall though, I want to keep my rage stacks up, and I'll switch to Cyclone here in a second just to kind of show that off. And, whoa, there we go. Ah, here we go. This should be good. Let's see how this goes with Flicker Strike. Now the big thing here is to look for the symbols again. Flicker Strike doesn't really allow me to do that. There's div cards. And, well, oop. Okay, well, I didn't do that too well. Again, Flicker Strike you kind of just go everywhere with Flicker Strike. Sometimes it ends up clearing just about everything, sometimes not so much. Depending on the layout, there's an incubator. Depending on the layout, it gets better or worse. There we go. Look at that. 2 stacked decks. I've been getting a ton of stacked decks. I'm loving the div card one just because of that. So, hopefully, we'll get into a actual big battle between 2 factions at least. If I can get 3, I might wait to get 3 before I record that. But again, feels pretty solid going through everything. Damage is pretty nice, 8,000. Oh, here we go. Here's the boss. Actually, here for this last little bit, I kind of want to show off Cyclone. Go ahead and throw that in here. Hopefully my rage doesn't drop too quickly. Here we go. So, yeah, Cyclone feels really good. Oh, okay. Obviously, this shrine giving a lot of AoE. I was like, what in the world? But with Berserk going, the bosses were over there. Berserk gives you a ton of movement speed, so you'll get to see me whirl around. Doing Delve has been awesome with Berserk. Stack up probably 20-30 stacks, and then just go hard. Because here we go, popped Berserk, throwing down the banner, moving around really easy, and we're out, and then you can see us slowing down a bit. So, overall, Berserk gives you a huge amount of movement speed, a huge amount of damage. While your stacks are up, that's 50% increased damage, and then when you pop it, you get the, 19% more damage with 30% more movement speed. So anything you have popped, like Quicksilver and Silver, that's just a more multiplier on top of those. So the movement speed bonus that you get is huge. If I'm playing Cyclone on anything, I'm going to be using Berserk. But overall, feels really good. Can't wait to see what this build can do. I'll probably either end up with Flicker Strike all the way if I can. See if I can somehow get to Uber Elder and do that with it. If that works, that'd be cool. If not, I'll probably do Cyclone with it or some other melee skill. And that's one thing about this league. It just kind of feels like plug and play. You can plug whatever in and just do. That's how it's felt. But anyway, thanks for watching. That'll be it for this video. Have a good one. Peace.